Hi friends, this is Miss Angie. I'm here to read another puzzle to you from the book, The Great Sherlock Holmes Puzzle Book by Dr. Gareth Moore. Last time I read to you a puzzle called The Three Children. I'm going to read that puzzle. I'm going to read the answer, and then I'm going to read another one called Keeping Clean. And I'll give you a couple days to figure that one out. All right, this one, Three Children, I think was hard. And one of the tips is to remember this, and I'll repeat it at the end. Assume that none of the kids are twins. That's going to be a little bit of a hint. It's somewhere in this puzzle, it's assumed, I believe. That'll give us a good tip. All right, The Three Children. Holmes once had a visit from an old acquaintance whom I had never met before. I found them chatting freely in the way he seldom did with me as I came into the room to offer some tea. "And how are your children?" Holmes was asking. "You have 3, if I remember rightly, although I must admit I don't recall their ages." "You always enjoyed deduction, didn't you, old chap?" his acquaintance replied. "What if I told you that the product of their ages was 40? Product means multiplying, so the product of their 3 ages is going to equal 40. That's not quite enough information for me to deduce their ages," said Holmes. "All right, well, I shall add that the sum of their ages is the number of years we've known each other. So if you add the ages together, it's going to give them the number of years they've known each other." Holmes considered this. "I still need a tad more. Finally, the youngest was our first summer baby born in July." "Ah, I see," Holmes said suddenly and turned to me. "Why don't you tell this gentleman the ages of his children then, Watson?" I balked. "But I don't know how long you've known each other." "Doesn't matter, Watson. Now you have enough information to deduce it." And indeed I did. How old are the 3 children? Let's get the answer. I thought this was hard. Honestly, I couldn't figure it out. I had to look. All right, so don't feel bad if you didn't get it. All right, the 3 children. The 3 children's ages are 1, 5, and 8. Given that Holmes could not deduce their ages, despite knowing the sum of their ages, I could have worked out that the sum of their ages was 14. This is because from all of the possible combinations that would yield the product of 40, only 2 have the same sum. So you knew those were the 2 he was trying to figure out what the difference was. So that was 1, 5, and 8, which is the answer. And then the other one was 2, 2, and 10. And if you add those up, you get 14 with each of them. And it's the same, so he needed more information. The final clue was necessary between these 2 options. If 2 of the children were 2, then they would have been twins. And the final clue ruled out that possibility and my tip that they weren't twins. So this was how I figured it out. All right. So you take 40, that's the answer. And you got to think, oh, what are all the different possibilities? When you multiply together, you get 40. So 1 times 5 times 8, and 2 times 2 times 10. And then when you add them together, you get 14. So you knew you had to try to figure out between those 2 which one was the right answer. If they're not twins, that one can't be the answer, so it has to be this one. So their ages are 1, 5, and 8. That one was hard. I thought that was pretty tough, but good, good, good. All right, the next one we've got is called Keeping Clean. And let me go back. I'm going to read you that one, and then you'll have a couple days to figure it out, and I'll give you the answer next time. Keeping Clean. Holmes and I were consulting with a couple of the Baker Street Irregulars. Those are kids that Holmes kind of employs, young kids, and they run around the streets, and they help him, and they do errands for him, and things like that. We were consulting with a couple of Baker Street Irregulars when suddenly a gust of wind picked up some dirt from the ground and blew it towards their faces, covering one boy's face in dirt, and yet somehow leaving the others completely clean. Strangely enough, it was the boy with the clean face who ran to a nearby water barrel to wash his face, while the other remained where he was. So the kid with the dirty face stayed there, and the kid with the clean face ran to wash it. I turned to Holmes with a quizzically raised eyebrow, but as usual, Holmes was unsurprised. What explanation did Holmes provide? Think about it. A couple of days, come back. I'll give you the answer to keeping clean, and I'll have a new puzzle for you. Bye, friends.